got some good news regarding Hall of Fame head coach Larry Brown. He has been named the 2021 Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award winner by the NBCA. I do have a quote here from Larry Brown. In case you guys don't know who that is, he is a legendary head coach in the NCAA and in the NBA. He's done it. He's coached everywhere, a lot of places, and he's had a lot of success in a lot of places. So I do have a quote right here from Larry Brown. It's kind of a long one, so I'll read it as fast as I can. He said, and I quote, "I admire Chuck. I think a lot of us that got to coach against him not only admired his ability as a coach, but just the way he carried himself. He made, I think, the coaching profession, in my mind, even more special just because he was such a great guy. You don't win awards like this unless you have people around you that are pretty special. I've been blessed to play for the best coaches that ever coached. I've been blessed to coach the greatest players that ever played. I've had unbelievable people sit next to me that allowed me to do what I love. I tell people all the time, I never worked a day in my life. And just being a coach, I feel so fortunate, but this is an amazing honor, as good as any I have ever had." And a little bit of information on Larry Brown's coaching career. Over the past 50 years, Brown had 14 stops as a head coach, three as a college coach, UCLA, Kansas. He actually won an NCAA national championship in 1988 with Kansas and SMU. 10 as an NBA or NBA coach, the Carolina Cougars in the ABA and the Denver Nuggets, the New Jersey Nets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Indiana Pacers, Philadelphia 76ers, Detroit Pistons, where he ended up winning the 2004 NBA championship, the New York Knicks, the Charlotte Bobcats, and he had a brief stint in Italy with the Auxilium Torino in 2018. And Larry Brown, he is 80 years old. He is eighth all-time in NBA coaching victories with 1,098. And he is one of 9 coaches in NBA history with more than 1,000 wins. In addition to that 2004 championship with Detroit, Larry Brown, he reached 2 other NBA finals in 2001 with the Philadelphia 76ers and 2005 with Detroit. And as a coach, as an NCAA coach, Brown made it to 3 Final Fours in 1979 with UCLA, 1986 and 1988 with Kansas. And he had a 266-99 record across 11 seasons. And I do have a quote here by NBCA president Rick Carlisle, and that is the Rick Carlisle, the former head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, who is now coaching the Indiana Pacers. He said, and I quote, "Our recipient this year has one of the most decorated careers in the history of coaching." And he also said he has had a very, very distinguished career. And yeah, overall, I mean, Larry Brown has done it all. He really has. You know, Larry Brown he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's an NBA champion. He's an NCAA champion. You know, not many coaches can say they won an NCAA title plus an NBA title. You know, both those two things in general, just one of them is rare to get, let alone both, you know? And I mean, again, he has over 1,000 wins. He has over 200 wins in college. So, I mean, when you really look at it, it is no doubt Larry Brown is a legendary coach, you know? And he's coached so many great players throughout the years. Really, he has. I mean, if we're talking about the Detroit Pistons team, we're talking about Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, and all those guys and everything like that. We're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers in 2001. We're talking about AI, who and that year had probably one of the most impressive years and one of the most entertaining years out of any MVP we ever seen. So overall, I mean, when you really look at it, Larry Brown has coached some of the best players, you know. Again, he's coached against Chuck Daly. He has a lot of admiration for Chuck Daly, which I do too. Chuck Daly is a great coach, you know. A lot of people, he was that head coach of the Bad Boy Pistons. And even though the Bad Boy Pistons were the Bad Boy Pistons, Chuck Daly was still an amazing coach. It's as simple as that. And Larry Brown, obviously, this is a great honor for him to have an award named after the great Chuck Daly, you know. So overall, you know, I definitely think Larry Brown is definitely deserving of this award. Again, he's done all there is to do. You know, he's won an NCAA championship. He's won an NBA championship. Again, he's coached MVPs. He's coached the best players around. I mean, there's really not a lot. The only little mark on it is that mark on his record is that he didn't do too well in Italy. Other than that, every other place he went to, he absolutely dominated. It's as simple as that. In 86 and 88, Kansas was a very great team. You know, again, they won the NCAA championship in 88. 2004, he took over the Pistons. Again, the same team that Chuck Daly was coaching, except obviously it's not the same like Detroit Pistons team, but it's still the Detroit Pistons. And he took them to an NBA championship, and he ended up winning it too. against a dominant team in Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. And at that time, they had Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and all of them, and they still were able to win. So Larry Brown is a great head coach, and he absolutely deserves this, no doubt about it. I mean, we're talking about 50 years in coaching business. That's what we're talking about right here. He's been a coach since the ABA. So if we're really looking at it, I don't think there is a person more deserving of this award. If anybody deserves this award, it is definitely Larry Brown. He's one of the very few coaches that's done it all in this business. Now, Larry Brown, he also has a past as a player. So right here, it talks about his past. He grew up in Brooklyn and he played collegiately at North Carolina before winning a title in the ABA. And he said all he ever wanted growing up was to become a high school coach and work with young players. And let me tell you something. If that's the case, then he definitely did a lot more than that. Larry Brown right here, he says, and I quote, "I think they work hand in hand, to be honest with you. I looked at my life. I lost my dad when I was young, and my brother and my mom and my coaches were really important people in my life. Right from the outset, I wanted to be a high school coach and coach baseball, basketball, and football, maybe teach American history and be like my mentors, like my coaches. When you receive an award like this, I think that was what Chuck Daly was all about. A coach's responsibility goes way beyond coaching kids and teaching kids. The relationships you establish are pretty incredible. When you talk about competing, I'm pretty competitive, but games really worried me. I always was concerned whether we prepared our team to meet any challenge, but I love practice. I think that word practice might have a lot of people confused right now, but I enjoyed that the most. And that's why I'm so excited to get back into doing this and share the things I was taught. So overall, I mean, again, it shows you what type of guy Larry Brown was. And again, it shows you not only that, but what type of influence Chuck Daly had in his life too. And a lot of people in his life, but Chuck Daly in specific, Chuck Daly represented a lot of what Larry Brown represented. And I think that's why Larry Brown is very honored to have this award. So overall, I mean, there isn't a guy who deserves this more than him. Larry Brown, in my opinion, is very similar to Chuck Daly regarding coaching wise and the way they think and everything like that. And like he said, I'm glad that he talked about this, okay? Because it's not about teaching kids the best skills, and it's not just about that. It's about building these relationships with these kids, with these players, whoever it might be. It's about building those relationships. And it's as simple as that. If you don't got some coaches did won championships and they didn't have a relationship with their players, but if you can build a relationship and a bond with your players and teach them the necessary skills in order to win, I think that is a bit better connection than anything else you can ever ask for. So with that being said, congratulations to Larry Brown on winning the 2021 Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award. And